Hey there, Internet. Keeve here, and welcome to the Lawns with Keeve YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to do a verticut and what I would call a light height of cut reset. Now, what does that mean? Well, when you have a Bermuda yard like this, they get very thick over time because, you know, it's comprised of like multiple layers. There's the top canopy layer, which is the green, and then underneath it are the stolons. They're the ones that grow sideways, but it's a very brown area of the canopy. Well, as the grass thickens and grows, that canopy gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you keep cutting the lawn at the exact same height all the time, your green layer gets smaller and smaller as that canopy builds up, not just from the stolons just growing and just interwebbing to be this just pillow, more or less. There's thatch in there as well. Just from dead grass, leaves, all that kind of stuff. As that pillow grows and as your cut height stays, your green area gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So the chances of scalping, especially on an edge, increases. Like you see right here, we scalped on an edge all over here. This is a very undulated, uneven area. These are the areas that are going to show that problem first. Another issue that causes what's called float, because that pillow is getting so strong and so buoyant, or whatever you want to call it. The mower is no longer cutting at the height that you thought it was because the heaviness of the mower is no longer pushing the grass all the way down and sitting on the ground and cutting at that exact, whatever, 3/4 of an inch is what I'm cutting right now. It sits on top. So it's floating on top and it's only cutting 3/4 of an inch from where it's floating. And depending on where your yard is level wise, when you hit a dip, that pillow can be taller or less, and then it will dip in and then it will dig. Height of cut reset is what a lot of people do because they don't have verticutters. A height of cut reset is basically we are setting the cutting notch one notch lower than what we want it to be. So we're going to dig the green out. We're going to get into the canopy, thin the canopy out to where we want it. Then we're going to set the mower up one height above that. That's going to allow us to cut back to where we kind of were in the springtime after the scalp. It'll recover, but that's why most of us do it just before we go on our summer vacation. If you go on one like extended summer vacation, because you're going to come back, the yard's going to be crazy grown and you're going to be scalping it anyway, probably, right? So we do that before we go. Now, verticutting is going to help because it's going to thin out that canopy and make it less of a scalp, get the grass canopy out, and when you cut it, it's going to be cut, you know, where you want it. Now you could lower it and do both at the same time, but this is my California Catalyst trimmer. I've used this maybe just 2 or 3 times since I bought it last spring, but it's just blades and you're cutting the grass this way instead of this way. And what you're doing is all those stolon runners, you're cutting those stolon runners and separating them, and they're going to grow even better. But also it's kicking up thatch, pulling some of the stolons out to get that canopy thinned out. But you need a certain amount of thatch layer. You don't want to take it all because that thatch retains moisture, retains nutrients. It's microorganisms for the environment that's underneath the ground here. Now this is a cartridge-based system. There's 4 cartridges. There's a spike aerator cartridge. There's a brush attachment. I've used the brush as well. The verticutter, which is what I mainly use this for, and I have a 7-blade reel. This is my backup reel. If my other reel breaks and I have to go send it off or whatever and I can't use it, this is my backup reel. Take that off the front, and it's just a bunch of blades, all separated by about 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches all the way across, and they're just spinning like this. So you're not tearing everything up. You're only tearing up a 1/8 inch wide swath, 1.25 inches apart. So you're just going to have a whole bunch of grooves in the yard. You're just kind of thinning out, just like go to the barber or the haircut place and they use those scissors that are like jagged to thin out your hair. It's the same kind of thing. So this is what it looks like up close. You can see they're just all spaced apart. Then obviously you can raise and lower it. So these are kind of the areas that kind of rear their ugly head. This is where it slopes in like this and it slopes this way. It's very uneven. And what happens is that float, it sits on top and floats, and when it hits the slope, it wants to lean a little more than it used to, and that's what's going to cause that. As you can see down there where it gets a little more level and there's less undulation, it cuts a lot better. I mean, look at the undulations. Most people don't cut their lawns with reels mowers that have it this undulated, but it cuts well, and I still think it looks way better than a rotary mower in general. So let's pull a plug so you can see what we're trying to talk about here. So this is that nice little piece of grass. So this was sodded last year. So this is basically the Sod Farms layer here, red clay layer, which is very compact, but we do have roots. Like I said, this was sodded last year. See how deep the root has made it? This is the float we're talking about right here. So as we just play with this, see how much dead grass and stuff kind of comes out of there. Thins it out a little bit. And now our canopy is thinner and allowed to be compressed. So it's being cut much lower. When we do a high to cut reset, we are cutting off all of this green and leaving it down here to, you know, the layer of stolons and stuff, these really thick stolons that are growing through. So this is how it's comprised. It's a stolon that's predominantly brown, grows sideways, and then only a certain amount of it is green. If we keep, you know, lowering that green amount, we're going to keep cutting off more and then hitting this brown stuff. And that's what you're seeing in your yard when you scalp. We're going to put you right back in there, buddy. Do I talk to my grass? Yes, I do. We are at 3/4 of an inch, but it's really not cutting 3/4 of an inch. It's probably cutting closer to an inch because of the float. This is normal maintenance, like I mentioned earlier, that you would need when you want to reel mow at this site. But if you're rotary mowing an inch and a half, you just start the spring at one height. And as things happen throughout the year, you just raise the height a little bit. And some people wind up at 2 inches, 2.5 inches by the end of the summer, which is a little bit too tall. But when you're cutting like we do, it encourages the grass to grow sideways and grow thicker and denser. When we do it that way, it grows faster. I mean, this height is really good. I want to keep it kind of at 3/4 of an inch, maybe closer to an inch, because as the summer goes through, if we get a drought, the high heat, this thing hasn't been cranked in 10 months, which is the last time I used it was when I verticutted last August. First pull. Honda, baby, Honda. So that's kind of what it's going to look like. And you think, well, that's not much. Well, I mean, look how much it dug into the layer right there. It's because there's so much sand here. It didn't get a whole lot. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to lower it just a little bit. So that's about as low as it goes. But you can see we're digging out more dead grass. So that's what I'm talking about. See up here, it's a little more stolons and stuff. We're catching most of it. And just like when you're mowing, your higher spots, your mounds and your valleys aren't going to get hit as much. But your mounds, you may hit a mound and you may beat it up a little more. But that's going to help level that mound out a little bit by doing this. So first basket. So one thing to think about is this will pick up some of the sand. You could use a sifter and run through and reuse this sand. But we have just lots. It's parts of the grass. We are taking out a lot of the grass to thin it out. Now, one thing that is really important is these mowers are self-propelled, right? Do not let the mower dictate the pace. You set the pace. Walk as slow as you can. I know it looks weird, walking really slow, but that's what's going to cut a really good groove. If you go too fast, you're just kind of skipping across. You're really not digging. You're really not getting that effect that you're looking for. Mowing is the same way. If you mow fast, you may not give the blade enough time to catch all the grass. You could have skips. You could have rips. You just need to cut it nice and slow. That's what's going to keep undulations from creating big issues. The faster you go, the bigger the issue might be. If you go a little bit slower, it might gradually cut it rather than dig and scalp. So that's what we got for the first run. I was expecting maybe a little more, and that's mainly because we're just controlling our thatch by cutting as often as possible, and the little blades of grass that we're cutting, they're decomposing before they ever become a problem. Now you're gonna see a lot more get picked up when we come across because we've already lightened it up. It's gonna sit a little bit lower, it's gonna dig a little more. Also, a lot of stuff that we disturb, when we come the opposite way, may get picked up. So not only does this help with the thinness in the pillow, but areas that are thin like this, we are digging up the soil. We are digging trenches, allowing the stolons to grow in to those trenches. And we're gonna come back the opposite way as well. That is really gonna help encourage growth in these areas, soften up the soil, make it easier for the fertilizer to penetrate and grow the grass. Areas that may have had problems. You can see how far we've dug. This is really gonna help. So it's not much more work than just mowing, right? We're just making our passes. So here we go. You can see now we have a crosshatch pattern. It doesn't look any different. And we took out just as much grass the second time around as the first. And when we mow it, we're going to take out even more because a lot of this got lifted up. It's sitting on the top, hasn't been picked up. A lot of it isn't cut yet. It's been ripped up and it's just sitting on top waiting to be cut. So this area of my neighbor's yard, I scalped on purpose a couple weeks ago when we did the aeration, just to prove an exaggerated height of cut reset, that the grass likes this. Look how tall its grass was before. Look how thick it is underneath with clippings, but it's very thin up top because the grass is just growing up. It's not really growing sideways. But look at how nice that is coming in. It was scalped to nothing. It's just a little brown patch. And it is coming in so well right there. So that just kind of gives you an idea of doing this encourages growth. No better time than now to edge because we're gonna have to come back and blow a lot of what's on the edge inward so the mower can catch as much of this as possible. I made a video not too long ago talking about this edge blade. It's great. I haven't changed it. I changed them every 2 or 3 mows before. This one is still going strong, cutting great. It was a great choice. Now we've got our rotary scissors. Love these. This part of the yard doesn't get too much of it because my grass is higher than my sidewalk, so I don't have to do the edges like a lot of people do. My mower just runs right over the edge. But by the light post and a few little undulations I dig into. All right, so now we're gonna blow everything back into the yard, probably 2 or 3 feet in around all of the edges, and we're gonna be able to pick them up with the mower, and that way the mower won't throw them back out. A yard vacuum would work really well for this. That's something I'm thinking about. Also, what you really want to catch is on the edges, especially if you're real mowing, you want to get the little buildup, because when you come off the edge and you make your turn, you lift up, especially if you're letting your bagger get too full. It will drop loads of, it's like that tall of just sand and stuff. Make sure you blow that out because the reels mower is just going to ride over it and it might not cut it all down, or you're going to hit it with the reels mower and then the sand's going to dull the blade. Rotary mower, not so much, but definitely want to make sure that you blow those out. All right, last but not least, the mow. And what we're gonna do is I'm leaving it at the exact same height that it is. This is also just a good way to kind of understand where it's at and then decide your next cut down, because some people like to do it gradually or not all at once. So we're gonna see, we might be able to lower it and not make as much of an impact. I'm just trying to dial it in so when I come back from vacation, I don't have a nightmare. I planned on going to 1 inch from 3/4 of an inch anyway, so I'm going up 1/4 inch. I might just leave it at this height. We'll see what it's like. First pull Honda. That's pretty good. It's definitely sitting a lot lower. And remember, we're gonna go this way too. This way is gonna be cut a little bit lower because we've gotten rid of a lot of this extra height and pillow, and we've cut the grass lower. Every time you go back and forth, at some point, you cut a little bit more until you get to ground level. Then it won't cut any lower. But with Bermuda, something like this, it might take 2 or 3 passes to finally get to level. Well, it's so hot outside, I didn't realize the iPhone overheated. So when I made my little talk there and I switched and went back up the hill, that is when it cut off. So we missed all that, but look at the grass. Can you really tell much has changed? Now let's go back this way. I don't know if the iPhone's gonna survive. I'm gonna go put it back over there in the shade, a little bit further away. That is a significantly better cut. It's much more level, less dig. I'm probably gonna cut it a few more times off camera and just keep going and going and going until it doesn't cut grass anymore. And then we're set at the cut that we wanna be at. And then I'll be ready for a vacation, come back, we'll raise it 1/4 of an inch and we'll leave it at that. That's what we caught the second go around. There is some brown in there, but the majority of that is freshly cut grass because we're getting just a little bit lower. The pillow, and I'm telling you, it's looking so good. Look at the striping is showing up a little bit better at this angle. The biggest noticeable difference is the hill. It was the thinnest area to begin with. So obviously it's the one area that's gonna look a little more torn up. If you've seen in previous videos, when I cut on this curve right here that we tried to level a little bit earlier, the cuts aren't they're not as much of a dig because the side that was floating and digging down like this now is a little more level. So the left side is getting cut a little bit better. So when you come back in the opposite direction, the height difference between the two cuts is much better. I did put some Celsius Uncertainty out recently. As you can see, it's taken care of, which I think is doveweed. It has a flower, but I cut so often you wouldn't be able to see that flower. But you see, I did it over here as well. You can see the discoloration in the grass. It's kind of come back, but finally after a couple weeks, the yellowing and the grass is kind of taking over. That was a pretty thick patch of doveweed. Well, there you go. I hope many of you who don't know much about verticutting or don't know exactly why you would do verticutting, I hope I explained some. The grass looks significantly better and we ripped out a lot. Like we tore the ground up. You can see the groove marks, but you cut it a few times. You've kind of lifted the grass up so that the first time you're mowing, you're cutting a little more off than you would have before, thinning it out. And now the blade, when it's coming across and making that cut, it's not cutting a huge thick wall of grass. It's cutting a little bit thinner amount. It's going to make a better cut. It's going to encourage growth. And then we're just going to have to rinse and repeat. And we're actually not going to do a how to cut reset, but I'm glad I explained it in the video so you'll know we kind of did do a how to cut reset. The verticutting actually reset us back down to where we were. And we come back from vacation, I'm going to raise it up to 1 inch and be kind of where I was yesterday when I cut, because I did cut yesterday. That's how much grass got pulled out and thinned out. So there you go. Don't forget to check the links below for anything in the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. God damn, bug.